Lindsay Montgomery. I'm here with Covenant Stories. At Covenant Church, we grow as followers of Jesus and believe that living life in Christian community really just helps us to learn and to be known and supported and loved in our church. Today, we are here with Jim Metz. And during this interview, listen for Jim's story about how going through healing from an injury helped him to grow closer with God, and specifically how his community group helped aid in his healing. So, Jim, can you tell me when you first started coming to Covenant and when you first became a member of the church?
I've been a churchgoer all my life, and at Covenant, I've been here for 8 years. Interesting side note is that early on in my church life, about the time I retired, I had a chance to be a business manager for a short period of time with Doug Webster. Mm-hmm. And the interesting point is that I want to make is that I had a chance to get to know Kinnerly as a young adult.
Okay, Jim, this next question is a hard-hitting one, but I think it provides a lot of really interesting context for the rest of your story. Can you tell me how old you are?
Well, let's just say that I'm old enough to be the president. And maybe a little bit more about me. I've been married for 60 years. We're going on Wow. 61 years. I have 2 children and 5 grandchildren. Amazing. And I've been retired for about 20 years. And frankly, I'm not all that comfortable about talking about myself, but as we get into the interview, you're going to hear about an injury that I have and kind of my outlook on how that is progressing. And I think there may be some value in where I'm at with my recovery for other people that might be older.
Can you tell us a little bit about your interests outside of church?
I do have a number of interests. One of the really important interests is that I'm a volunteer with the Sheriff's Department Search and Rescue. We may get into that a little later in the interview, but once I retired, I really wanted to try to incorporate my love of the outdoors with kind of giving back in a volunteer status. I'm kind of at a place where I'm not working for a living, but I can choose to do the things that I want to do. And SAR has really given me a wonderful opportunity, and I really feel good about the things that I'm able to do with SAR. I'm also very active in physical exercise. I've been a lifelong runner. I'm a biking person as well and do a lot of hiking, and I used to do more backpacking than I do now, but the physical activity has been something that's been very important in my life from as far back as I can remember. And the running and biking, I have a group of friends kind of in my age category that I enjoy those activities with. And frankly, they have been very encouraging on an ongoing basis, but with this injury that I'm going to talk a little bit about, they've really been supportive and encouraged me to, not to give up, but to really try to get back to where I was a while back.
Okay, so getting into the heart of the interview here, you had a muscle tear that required a surgical repair. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened there?
I can. This was back on November 1st. I tripped in our backyard, and I landed in such a way that I tore the tendon that goes down to my kneecap, and I had surgery to repair that. And this is a long-term recovery from an injury such as that. I'm now 3 months into the recovery. Things are really going quite well. and I've probably got another 3 months to go. But it's kind of a slow process, but in a way it's kind of a two-step process. I need to rebuild the strength in my knee, and then I need to work on the range of motion. Luckily, I have not been in any pain, but just the whole learning to kind of walk again, things like going up and down stairs are still a challenge, but I'm able now to walk, and I'm actually back into jogging a little bit, so I'm pretty encouraged with how the recovery's going. But I think I still have at least another good 3 months in the recovery process.
Okay, Jim, can you tell me a little bit about your community group at Covenant and what role they played in your healing?
Well, I am really blessed with some very key relationships. Obviously, my wife, our children, our grandchildren is certainly really up there at the top. But the friendships that we have developed here at church are important, very important to us, and it's one of those things that we look forward to each Sunday is to come and kind of renew those friendships. And then we are part of a community group, and we've made really close friends there. And it's in those community groups that we kind of share more of the personal things that are going on with us. And our particular community group has been so supportive and always wanting to know how I'm doing, and I just feel a lot of support coming from that group.
Okay, Jim, are there any particular Bible verses that really stand out to you or have been impactful in your healing journey?
There are, Lindsay. There's two verses that have been important to me. One deals with physical fitness, and it comes from Romans 12, verse 2, and this is from the Message. Here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday life, your ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work, walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embrace what God does for you is the best thing you can do for Him. Don't become so well adjusted in your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. You'll be changed from the inside out. Readily recognize what He wants from you and quickly respond to it. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God brings the best out of you and develops well-formed maturity in you. So, in essence, if I take my effort to be physically fit and present that to God, He is going to bless that and He will be pleased with that. The second verse comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 12, and it has to do with not making fitness a god. And I have the right to do anything you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but I will not be mastered by anything. So this is basically, don't let fitness be the thing that I'm focused in on all the time. I don't want to be a slave to fitness.
So, Jim, as you know, we're currently in a sermon series about spiritual disciplines. There's 7 of them. Do any of them stick out to you as being particularly helpful during your recovery?
There is one in particular. It would be really my prayer life. When things are going along smoothly, at least for me, I have a prayer life, but it's not as focused as it is now. It's interesting that I am now a lot more in tune with other people kind of in my age bracket that are undergoing some pretty serious medical situations. And, I don't really need to pray about my situation. I just feel that God is there really taking care of me and helping me to heal. I am very concerned, though, about other people kind of in, older adults that are undergoing some serious medical situations. And they are the people that I pray for daily. And, I'm seeing answers to those prayers. And it's very encouraging to me to see the answers to prayers that are just kind of there. And I really feel blessed that I can have that outlook that God is there for me and is really anxious to help other people kind of in my situation.
Last question for you. What are some of the key takeaways from your healing journey?
Well, I'm going to mention several. One is that, God gives us every day. And when you wake up in the morning, you kind of got a few moments there to kind of think through, what am I going to do with this day? How do I make it count? One of the things that I've been involved with for a number of years is the search and rescue efforts, and we get calls every so often to come and look for a missing person. And one of the things that I do every time we go on one of these call outs is that I send up a short prayer to ask for God's help in finding this missing person, help us to know where to look, and I really feel those prayers are answered. We're pretty successful in finding the missing people. That is not always the case, but I always feel that God is there supporting our efforts in looking for who it is we're out searching for.
Go.
The other thing is I'd like to talk just a little bit about balance. And, I've talked a lot about this recovery from the injury, the whole exercise thing, but, I've really got to balance out where I'm spending my time, where my mind is, and it can't just be on exercise all the time. The friendships and relationships are so important, and I need to keep those things in mind. And those are places that I can make a difference in other people's lives.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today and for sharing your story with Covenant. I think you had a lot of just really amazing things to say about staying connected with God and the church community and maintaining those strong relationships throughout tough situations. So thank you so much. Covenant Stories, the best stories are yet to come.